I don't know if you can see it, but it's actually super cold here. I can see my breath. Buonasera and welcome to a new video. We are currently walking the Via Francigena, which is kind of the Camino de Santiago in Italy. We started in Lucca and we are now on the way to Rome. What we experienced on the first few stages of the trail, you're gonna see in this video. Enjoy! Our Via Francigena starts in the Tuscan town of Lucca. Lucca is a quite famous place with its massive walls built in the 15th and 16th century, still existing in extraordinary condition today. There is plenty to see and do, but it is also known to a lot of other people, so we held our time running slalom through zombie-like tourists pretty short. One thing that caught our attention was the mummy of fellow pilgrim San Gimignano, who died here in Lucca about 1000 years ago on his way to Santiago de Compostela, and who is still showcased to the public in the church of San Michele in Foro. I think this absolute obscure scene is like a warning to others. Don't pilgrim too hard or something like this. So we just arrived in the first refuge in Lucca, and we got our pilgrim's passport, and we already got the first two stamps. Amy is doing the important business stuff, as I will show you around, because for a refuge or albergue or however you would call it, this place is pretty tidy. You got sockets right next to every bed, and you got 2 showers, and you got a shitload of toilets, which is great. That's it. So we're like 2 kilometers in the Via Francigena, and I had my first coffee, and I'm finally ready to talk to people, or at least to the camera. The first part was like directly through Lucca, out of Lucca, very much cars, not really fun to walk, but now we're in this nice neighborhood here. The signs are getting easier to read, easier to see. Within the city it was a bit hard to find all of them, but now it's already pretty easy to detect where you have to walk. We found out pretty quickly that the signs which say punto timbro mean as much as stamp point. As a pilgrim, you need those stamps in your pilgrim's passport to get accepted at accommodations like monasteries or churches, which only host pilgrims, for discounts, and of course to get your testimonium at the end of the pilgrimage in Rome. Also, don't forget to make friends with the locals. Time for a little break. We just crossed the industrial area, which was not so nice. There was partly heavy traffic on the road and no boardwalks, so the cars and trucks just passed not even a meter besides us. Also, it's pretty dirty. It's a lot of trash, pretty much everywhere. Yeah, we hope that we pass this part now, and that the road is gonna be more beautiful. Finally reached dirt roads, without cars, without any other stuff. We just crossed another industrial area with a huge amount of waste, of plastic and glass and whatever, just around the road. That's really disgusting. The way on the first day is not getting more beautiful than this, and at some point we reached Alto Pascio, which has a nice little historic center, but the rest of the town is pretty dirty and nothing to see at all. It definitely wasn't the most pilgrim-friendly route to start this trail. Buonasera! We finished the first stage, the first 22 kilometers, I think. We are a little bit past Alto Pastio, and it was like the only open accommodation here. The only one that was more or less directly on the path, because all the others were at least 2 kilometers in a totally opposite direction, which just wouldn't make any sense. Day 2. While the weather was not on our side, we were hoping for more natural route and a bit more to see despite cars and trash all over the place. And just as we left into the woods, we found first traces of wildlife. We just found porcupine spikes. They are pretty rare in Europe. I think I heard that they just exist in this area and in the Etna area in Sicily. I think these are the only... Wow, they had a fight here, I guess. And they can be pretty aggressive, but they are nocturnal, so probably they're sleeping right now. Anyway, they are pretty rare in Europe, so it's cool to see that we are in an area where they exist. Wait a moment, I have to disagree with myself a little bit here. They are not aggressive. They will defend themselves when feeling threatened. Also, they will warn you first by showing off their spikes, but they will not attack you just cause they feel funny. Also, they exist nearly in whole Italy, including Sicily, but are not native to the area, as they were brought here from Africa by the Romans, who probably used them as a source of food. As we continue our path, our surroundings get more colorful and we find ourselves in a beautiful forest full of old oaks. Okay, what we have here is a Erdbeerbaum in German. I think the English name is also strawberry tree, but I'm not sure. They make these nice little fruits, and they're now in their prime. So most of the berries are already on the floor, but they're really delicious. You can eat them just like this. I think here in Italian, most of the people make jam and I think also liquor out of it. This tree you can find, or this bush you can find pretty much all over the Mediterranean area. And it's really delicious, you should try it. The next town we crossed was Fucecchio, definitely one of the most beautiful towns on the route so far. What I want to mention here is how friendly the locals along the way are. Many say hi or wave out of their car, some even try our Italian skills by having some small talk. The guy who manages the museum, he's an absolute legend. He went a bit further. We only wanted to get a stamp, but got a complete tour of the museum, including some rooms where usually only staff members have entrance to. He also told us the whole story of Fucecchia, of which we probably understood about 30%, but his kindness was definitely one of my favorite experiences on the whole journey.
Questi sono i musici e sbandieratori.
As we continued our path, we found another friendly local. This wall gecko was relaxing in the sun as we passed him. They are native to the Mediterranean area in Europe and Africa, nocturnal and totally harmless as they just love sticking around on walls and eat insects. Soon after making a new friend, we already saw San Gimignano. After walking already 25 kilometers, the last steep part can be a bit tough, but is definitely worth the beautiful town of San Gimignano and a warm welcome at the Pilgrims Hostel. Buongiorno. Day 3. We reached the Tuscany you see in all the pictures, in all the videos, in all the advertisements they do for the region. Because here you have all these nice cypress trees and the olive trees and stuff, and these smooth hills. Looks really awesome most of the time. The only bad thing for me is that we walk most of the time along the road, which sucks for us and for the drivers. And it's mostly concrete where we walk on, so it's also not the very best for the feet, but it's gonna be okay. Tomorrow we're gonna have a break because first of all Amy's feet they hurt a little bit from the walking on the concrete. The town we reached tonight is Gambasi Terme, which is a town with a thermal bath. So, and there is a big discount for pilgrims, and we're gonna use that. So we just found a first aid kit for all the injured pilgrims.
Not
Do you need it?
No, no.
The way continued to lead us through trademark Tuscan landscapes until we reached our goal for the past day, Gambasi Terme. Buongiorno, we are on the way to Grotta di Maurizio, or something like this, as we're having a break day today in Gambasi Terme. And not only does this town have a thermal bath, it also has a pretty cool grotta down there. After his wife's death in 1918, Maurizio went down to the George to live here for 13 years. He built a small chapel and landscaped the forest with walkways, statues of saints and Christian symbols. He used cement with chicken mesh as rebar and searched for shells, buttons and pebbles for the smaller details. What you can see nowadays are the remains of his work that nature didn't take back yet. Next on the list was a geyser, which we should reach by only following the river for about an hour, crossing it multiple times. Haha! We found what we came for! Look at that beauty! Oh wow! It also smells very beautiful. This small geyser, which is called Bolori by the locals, is constantly spitting out water with a high concentration of sulfur and salt in it. The temperature never gets higher than 23 degrees, but the smell will tell you of the geyser when you are still hundreds of meters away. What is very interesting to me is that the only plant which lives in the water directly around the geyser is Juncus acutus. Juncus has a high tolerance of salt, so this is why you see this plant growing here, as well as you can often find it on beaches and close to brackish waters. So we just had the first defeat of the journey. The thermal bath is closed. The thermal bath is closed in winter, so yeah. Luckily we got a bathtub in our room, so not so bad. Okay, so shit is getting real, you know. Those dogs adopted us. They are following us. We don't know whose dogs they are, and now there is a baby dog approaching us. And oh my God, are you sweet? Oh nein, oh nein, oh nein. Was mache ich jetzt, Amy? Oh mein Gott, schau, du bist im Fernsehen.
Aber das ist 100% deren Kind,
TV.
glaube ich. Die sehen alle gleich aus.
Ist das euer Baby? Ist das euer Baby Dog? Schau, er sagt Hallo. The dogs even brought us a stone as a present to underline that we are part of the pack now. But for real, they were following us for nearly an hour and we were already trying to figure out how to feed them until we arrive in Rome. Apparently our dog adventure ended. We arrived at another property with a shitload of dogs, and the owner, I think he's a hunter, and he just collected his dogs. But he knew our dogs. I tried to explain to him in Italian that the dogs are from over there, and he was like, yeah, he knows them, and they will return to their property. So, and now they're gone. I think we just saw the baby one already back there at the property. So he was so scared of the other dogs, he just went chow with lightning speed. Beautiful. What an adventure. The route today was more or less unspectacular, despite the only church with a stamp so far and the monastery, which has, according to Amy, an incredible clean bathroom. But then we already could see it from afar, the Manhattan of Italy, San Gimignano. The town originally had 72 towers, all built by wealthy families who wanted to show off their wealth and power. Or only wanted to spread some small dick energy, we will never know. Nowadays there are only 14 of those towers left, but this town is still incredibly beautiful. So we arrived in our accommodation in San Gimignano, and it's a really old town, and it looks so amazing. It's by far the most touristy place we've been since Lucca. I can't really wait to get down there and check out the town, because I think it's really amazing, beautiful. There are not so many tourists, but you immediately see that it's different than the other towns that we've been so far. It was a bit hard to find a cheap accommodation here, so we asked the tourist information. Amy mailed them, and they gave us the contacts to this place here. And it's a pretty simple place. We have a room with a big bed, and there is a bathroom back there. And the fun thing about it is that it belongs to a 94-year-old Italian nonna, and she's the sweetest person ever. When I called her, I said like, do you speak English? And she started laughing. No. She's super nice, and when we came here, she greeted us with her curlers in her hair and all this stuff, and she's super sweet. She's telling us stories, and I try to understand as much as I can. Buongiorno. It's Christmas and we got ourselves the best breakfast ever. 31 kilometers, the longest of our stages on the Via Francigena, lies ahead of us. After walking through woodlands, including a river crossing, we reached the town of Colle di Val di Elsa. A bigger one on the Via Francigena with plenty of supermarkets to fill up your backpack or first aid kits. Not gonna lie, this stage is a bit tough, and it took us until sunset to reach Monteriggioni, but we managed to see this amazing colorful sky, which made all the pain in our feet more than worth it. And after such a long day, we definitely deserved a beer. Yay! It's the 25th of December and whole Italy is shut down. So we took a shortcut along the road to get to Siena fast, cause there is just a bigger chance that there are at least some open places, which turned out to be the right decision. We definitely could have planned better and get ourselves some food in advance, but failed to do so. Anyway, Siena is a great place and there is so much to see. Before finishing this video and the first part of a Via Francigena adventure, I want to give you guys some advice on an accommodation. So tonight we're sleeping in a church and it sucks ass. It said that it would be Donativo and super fancy with Wi-Fi and kitchen and stuff, but it's not Donativo, it's 15 euros per person, which is not too bad I guess, but the toilets, the bathrooms, the kitchen is super disgusting. The water is about this cold, like maybe this. Also the guys are super unfriendly and a bit weird. It's cold as fuck actually. If you're thinking of staying here, maybe go to another place, avoid it.